your next act, Danny Friedman, everybody. Yeah! Danny Friedman.
Give it up again, guys, for Cal Post. Cal, before you get too far away, I want you to know something. It's because of young punks like you that guys like me can't find 40-year-old women. Little fuckers. Hello and bonjour, Ottawa. Tonight's actually a very special evening for me. This is my 2-year anniversary of doing stand-up comedy. Thank you very much. Makes it the longest job I've ever had. So it looks like summer's finally coming. Soon we're going to be able to stop bitching about how cold it is and start bitching how hot it is. I can't wait. Admission fee tonight at Absolute Comedy was $5. For that, we've got a fantastic host, 6 comics, and the incredible Harry Duke headlining the show. I did a statistical analysis, and each and every one of you has paid 42 cents to watch me. If at the end of my performance, even one of you feels like you didn't get good value, I'm going to slit my fucking wrist. Yeah, baby, it's a Bic for sensitive wrists. I'm sure many of you heard yesterday that the Phoenix Coyotes hockey team went bankrupt. You guys hear that? And there's a billionaire in Toronto who wants to buy the team and bring them to Southern Ontario. Well, word leaked out today that he actually wants to bring them to Toronto, so Toronto will have 2 shitty hockey teams. I want to tell you guys a little bit about me. I was actually born and raised in Toronto. 13 years ago, I moved west to Calgary, Alberta. And a little under a year ago, I moved to Montreal. Yeah, I was desperate to live in a city that had a hockey team that won. But I moved again about 4 months ago. I moved back to Toronto and I actually moved in with my mother. Yeah. A lot of my friends recently have been saying, Danny, you're 48 years old and you're living with your mother. That would make you a bit of a loser. But I don't necessarily agree with that. See, me and my mom go out drinking a few nights a week. That's what makes me a loser. I mentioned I lived in Calgary for 13 years and I loved it out there. It's beautiful. Love Western Canada. And I was there for the biggest economic boom in the history of the province of Alberta. Had an amazing job. I worked at the #1 furniture company in all of North America. It was called Furniture Universe. I called it FU. Yeah, and then what happened was I met a woman on the internet and decided to move from Calgary to Montreal, and that was tough adjustment. There's this law in Montreal that when you're driving, you're not allowed to turn right on a red light. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Yeah, it's fucked right up. When I was in Calgary, I was allowed to turn right on red lights while I was drinking beer. You've been to Calgary? But the big thing, the really, really tough barrier for me in Montreal was the language. Didn't speak any French, and it was tough. I remember early on, I wanted to learn some French. So I went to a Tim Hortons. I'd only been in town for a few days. And I looked at the English side of the menu, and I asked the employee what the French translation was for croissant. I remember it was actually my very first night in Montreal. I should have known something was up. I looked at my girlfriend and I told her that I wanted to make really passionate love to her in the sack. She asked me why I wanted to screw her in a bag. Yeah, it was tough. It was really tough. But my girlfriend, she was starting to get a little fed up with me, with my lack of French, and We were lying in bed one night, and she looked at me and said, "Danny, I'm going to teach you some French." I said, "Merci." I thought she was wonderful. She told me, "Danny, your penis is petite." Yeah, but I should have clarified it with her, because then I didn't know if petite meant long or thick. But then I tried to dazzle her with a little bit of my French, and I just looked at her and I said, "Honey, your breasts are gross." You guys have been absolutely incredible. Enjoy your evening.